What a sight. 27 years we've been doing this, honoring scholarship in Spokane. It's my pleasure tonight to welcome you to this, our 27th banquet. It again is a sellout and has been since year 2. Year 1, we had 450 people here. We had no money in the bank. We borrowed money from board members to cover the cost of the $3,000 or $4,000 we gave out in grants. And this year, that's not the case. 148 scholars here tonight, all spiffed up and shined. Proud parents, teachers, perhaps grandparents as well, and scores of community leaders, professionals, businessmen and businesswomen, here for one purpose: to celebrate and encourage academic excellence and lifelong learning. My name is Eric Johnson. I'm president of the Spokane Scholars Foundation. This is a unique event, perhaps in the country, where high school superstar scholars are honored solely on academic merit. Tonight, we bring on stage all these scholars whose efforts reflect a combination of intellect and effort. If it were all intellect, we'd have you take a test and we'd make awards and presentations based on that. But it is the product of intellect times effort which leads to learning. Scholars, you attend schools with class sizes ranging from several thousand to less than 100. You have been selected by your schools as its best students. You have given evidence to your teachers and to your counselors that you are bright and that you seek excellence in all you do. There will be a sense of growing momentum in this banquet, starting with me at the low end. Understand that during my career, I was an anesthesiologist, and it was my job to make people sleepy. We will proceed to the presentation of the colors, which for me is enough of the banquet. But then we'll follow with more music, an invocation, extraordinary dinner music, culminating in our featured speaker, and then the presentation of all you scholars introduced individually right here on the yellow X in front of nearly 900 people. We begin this banquet honoring our country, and in particular, all Spokane students who have served or are currently serving in the military, providing us the freedoms we enjoy. Would you kindly now stand for the presentation of the colors by the Medical Lake High School Junior ROTC under the direction of Chief Master Sergeant Al McGowan, and then please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem performed by vocalists from East Valley High School.
Through the night
Please be seated.
Good evening. I'm Maggie Crawford, a member of the board of the Spokane Scholars Foundation. It gives me great pleasure this evening to introduce to you the Venerable Professor Geshe Pelge, who is a former member of the Tibetan Parliament in exile from 2001 until 2011 under His Holiness the Dalai Lama. The former global scholar at Gonzaga University is currently the global scholar in residence at Eastern Washington University. He's the founder of Universal Compassion Foundation, promoting equal compassion for all beings by at least not eating them. He is an international champion in advocating vegetarianism and veganism in order to protect animals from slaughtering and torturing. He's the founder of the Buddhist Institute of Universal Compassion in Spokane, where everyone is welcome to study and practice compassion. And don't we need more of that in this world? Geshe?
Good evening, Spokane. This is great. So, in Buddhist tradition, we invoke Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the deities, before any endeavor. So let's do that tonight here. So we take a moment of silence, and then as a Buddhist, we do talk about Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but here, everybody get to invoke whatever your faiths are. All the holy beings from the heavens are invited to this august gathering to bless us, to guide us, and to take us further to our missions. Most importantly, to a better world, a peaceful world, a compassionate world. So we take a moment, and then in your hearts and minds, visualize all the holy beings from all directions come join us this evening and bless us. Thank you. And then we make the offering of food in Buddhist tradition. We do all that we eat, all that we drink, we make offerings to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas before ourselves. So let me say this prayer of offering. These magnificent and delicious food come from much hard work and contributions from many people and animals alike. We offer this food to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all holy beings before us, so that all the contributors are benefited by their virtues. We take this food and offer them as their blessings to nourish us, so that we can sustain our lives for the benefit of others. Thank you very much. Please enjoy.
What a wonderful and meaningful start to this banquet. Please now begin your dinner. The timing of this banquet is fairly rapid. You have about 35 minutes to eat. I will be making some introductions while you're eating, important introductions, so if you just eat and don't talk, I think that would be most courteous to the people that I'm going to introduce. The most difficult part of the evening for you here is to know when to applaud and not. I figured it out. Only applaud if the person standing at this podium is applauding. Otherwise, don't. It'll take too long. A couple housekeeping notes. If you want decaffeinated coffee or tea, please let your server know now. When they come out, the entrees are going to be served, because once the introduction of the featured speaker begins, there will be no table service. I want to acknowledge at this point the Ferris Jazz Orchestra. They have left. So in retrospect, some applause. And the East Valley High School Chamber Choir, whose rendition of the national anthem was about as lovely as it gets. And they will be providing dinner music as well. There are 2 new schools to this banquet tonight. We're so proud to have with us the Community School and On Track. Applause, please, for our 28th and 29th school. So here comes the part where the applause, you could give it for everybody I introduced, but please don't. I'd like to introduce some of the distinguished visitors and guests. Mayor David Condon, Colonel Michael Johnson, commander of the 92nd Mission Support Group at Fairchild Air Force Base. Dr. John Tomkowiak, founding dean of the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and our featured speaker tonight. We have representatives here tonight from Congresswoman Kathy McMorris Rogers' office and from U.S. Senator Patty Murray's office. I'd like to recognize Mr. Rob Curley, editor of the Spokesman Review. And there are numerous school district superintendents, administrators, and teachers in our presence. There is one group that I would like to have stand at this point, and that is at one of the tables there are 10 members of the Spokane Area Retired Teachers Association. Would you all stand, please? There you are. And stay standing, because what I'd like to do now is for all of the rest of you who are teaching now or who have ever taught school at any level, please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. That's an impressive show of support for this group. One other person I'd like to introduce separately from the others, because he deserves it. This person was a co-founder of this organization 27 years ago. He served as president for a long time, and he is here tonight, and his name is Louis Rukavina. Lou, would you stand, please? His handprint or footprint is all over this effort. I don't know which it is, which it should be. And now I'm going to introduce you to the board members. Please hold your applause. I'm going to skip over a couple initially. T.J. Brill, they'll please stand at their seats so you know where they're sitting. T.J. Brill, Maggie Crawford, Billy Etter, Dr. Jared Evans, Marianne Hansen, Ellen Hoffman, Elizabeth Hooker, Dr. John Keeve, Don Schuster, Joanne Tripp, Kevin Weberg, and our newest board member, a Spokane scholar in 2013 and a current student at Washington State College of Medicine, Aaron Kaya. Now, you can applaud for these. And I know I've left 2 out. I want to recognize two board members separately. Those people are Sharon Conity and Brenda Bray. This banquet takes place because they put everything aside for weeks and weeks and handle hundreds of phone calls. Those of you from the schools and the counseling offices, those are your two contacts. So Sharon and Brenda, would you please rise and receive your due? What's interesting about this organization, and something I'm very proud about, is that every cent raised goes toward the scholars. There is not a single employee of Spokane Scholars, never has been, and I suspect never will be. So this banquet, the fundraising, the contacts with the newspapers, the follow-up thank you notes, the logistics of serving people who have this diet or that diet, or a dad who calls and says, I forgot to sign up, can you get me in? It's because of somebody answering from their home with a lot of stuff to do. So I'm very proud of that. So any donations that come to us are used for good purpose. I want to confirm something, that the entrees are being served. Is that correct? It's not correct. Okay. I feel like a school cafeteria monitor just a little bit, because if you don't eat, then we get a little bit behind. So they just keep shoveling it down, folks. People support organizations like ours for different reasons. Oftentimes the reasons are personal and poignant and unknown. Occasionally what motivates donors is revealed. Some donors are anonymous. Scholars, tonight you will meet some of our donors. When you come forward to accept your medallions, you will meet some of these donors. They represent themselves, they represent their businesses, and in some cases they represent deceased family members whom they loved very much and miss very much. And they direct this financial support towards you. It's really an amazing process. It doesn't take much of a sell to get people to donate to this cause. The first donor in our first year was Wagstaff. I went to Wagstaff Engineering, it was called then, knocked on the door and met with a Mr. Wagstaff himself. And he said, "What do you want, Eric? You want money, don't you?" And I said, "I do." "Well, how much do you want?" And I said, like this. I went, "Oh, $1,000. He said, "Okay." And he said, how come they didn't have something like this for me?" And I went, "Sir?" And he said, when he was in high school, he was a science kid extraordinaire, and he never got recognized for anything. The athletes got recognized, the community service people got recognized, but Mr. Wagstaff did not. Wagstaff Engineering has been with us from day one, and they're here tonight as well. I want you to read the back of the program as well. There are other donors on there, all with stories. So my thanks tonight on your behalf go out to generous people and general organizations like the Spokane Teachers Credit Union, the Dr. Jonathan Holloway Foundation, represented tonight by son David and daughter-in-law Chris Holloway. Dr. Holloway was an ophthalmologist and a fine arts supporter, amazing in this community. He's passed away, but the legacy continues. Likewise for Jim Coles and his wife Wanda. The category for Mrs. Coles, Wanda, is given in her memory by her husband. For years she would come and present here. She was a lady of grace and a former teacher. Hanson Industries. It's not an industry. It's a group of people who produce things and then take some of the money they make and give it to organizations like this. The Hanson Family Foundation. If I'm not correct, the Hansons attended a banquet unknowing what was going to happen. Their daughter was a scholar years ago, and I think that they were hooked, and they wanted to make sure that we were able to succeed for the years to come. So to the Hanson family, thank you very much. And then to the Hampton Irwin family. Dr. Irwin is an obstetrician gynecologist, an extraordinary man and a good friend of mine. I worked with him many years. He started this donating. He has died. His three daughters, who aren't here tonight, every year can't wait to donate, and usually they attend. These are real people who, years after their passing, continue to make an evening like this possible. Plus, I want to thank the following folks: the physicians of Spokane County, Wagstaff, as I mentioned before, Pyrotech, Inland Northwest Community Foundation, William and Danette Ulrich, parents of prior scholars. We have nearly 100 donors of prior scholars to these banquets. And then finally, as we do usually, we highlight a particular donor. This year, it falls into the personal and poignant category for a couple here from Spokane. And as I mentioned to someone earlier, this is a story that will touch you, I believe. For nearly 25 years, the Spokane Scholars Foundation has been the recipient of a very generous donation from Martha and David Jones in memory of their son, Cooper Jones. Their son, Cooper, was an outstanding young middle school student who, as a 7th grader, scored at the average level of a graduating 12th grade on an SAT test. Besides studying, Cooper loved biking, road biking, and mountain biking. Cooper was a member of the Badlands Biking Club. How's that the name for a good group? In July of 1997, Cooper was struck by a car and killed during a sanctioned race while riding on the shoulder of a county road. I met with his father recently, and we talked. I inquired, what message would you tell this banquet? What would you want me to carry forth to this audience? He thoughtfully answered. Incidentally, neither Martha nor David were able to make the banquet tonight. I quote David, "Cooper would have been a scholar. We are blessed to be able to remember him and act in his behalf by supporting the Spokane Scholars Foundation." Spokane Scholars embodies what we wanted for him. He did the best in everything he took on. After his death, his mother and I were successful in changing laws that improve bike rider safety on roads and highways in the state of Washington. It's named the Cooper Jones Act. And we did this out of our love for our son. He was born April 16th, which is the day after your banquet, Mr. Jones said. He should have been 35 tomorrow. He continued, "Thank you for allowing us to honor our son by supporting the Spokane Scholars Foundation." So thank you from Martha and David Jones to you. Continue eating your dinner. We'll convene in about 30 minutes with the presentation of our featured speaker. And thank you for the wonderful invocation. All right, thank you very much. The music by the East Valley Choir.
Lord. afford to carry me home.
If you
Get there before I do. Come to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming right after you.
come afford to carry me home. If you get there
Go marching in.
before I do.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Tell all my friends I'm coming right after you. Coming for to carry me home. Do 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 I see a chariot, I know it's coming. I see a chariot and it's coming for me. The saints in glory, they all go marching all over heaven for eternity.
When the saints go marching in. Oh, when the
Saints go marching in. Oh Lord, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. How I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in. I really want to go. Let every good fellow now join in a song.
Viva la company!
Success to each other and pass it along.
Viva la company!
Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company.
Come all you good fellows and join in with me. Viva la company!
And raise up your voices in close harmony. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company.
Should our occasion compel us to part?
Viva la
Viva la
company.
company! This day shall forever enlighten the heart.
Viva la, viva la, viva la, viva la.
Viva la, viva la,
Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company.
viva la, viva la,
Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company.
Let every old bachelor fill up his glass.
Viva la company. And drink to the health of his favorite lass. Viva. Let every old married man drink to his company. The joy of his bosom and comfort of life. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva la, viva la, viva l'amor. Viva l'amor, viva l'amor. Viva la company.
viva l'amor, viva l'amor, viva l'amor.
Viva l'amor.
Viva l'amor, viva la viva
La company. All right, sweet. I keep from singing? Oh, how can I keep from singing? 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 How can I keep from singing?
I hear the
Can I keep from
reel, the
singing? How
far
can I
off
keep from
tune
singing?
that tells
How
a new
can I keep from singing? How
creation.
can I keep from singing?
Through all
How
its
can I keep from
dim
singing?
and
How can I
endless
keep from
joy,
singing?
I hear
How
its
can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing?
It's
How can I keep from
an
singing?
echo
How
in
can
my
I keep from
soul.
singing?
How can I
Can I keep
keep
from
from
singing? Can I keep from
singing?
singing? How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing?
Although the
Though
tempest
tempest
roll me
roar
loudly, I hear the truth it liveth, and though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth, no storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? How can I keep from singing? I lift my eyes, the cloud grows thin. I see the blue above it, and day by day this pathway smooth, since first I've learned to love it. The peace of love makes fresh my heart, a fountain ever springing. All things are mine in love and joy. How can I keep from singing? 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 Can I keep from singing? Singing. How can I keep from singing? Low comment. Banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on the gloamin', where me and my true love were ever wont to gae, on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Oh, ye'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland afore ye. But me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Was there that we parted in yon shady glen, on the steep, steep sides of the Lomond, where deep
But me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. That was tight.
Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams glow, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. to dreams. For if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. A broken winged bird that cannot fly. One mile on the way to freedom, 1 mile on the road to glory, 1 mile till I reach the other shore. 1 mile to the top of the mountain, 1 mile till I reach that city, 1 last mile. 1 mile, 1 mile on the way to freedom, 1 mile on the road to glory, 1 mile till I reach the other shore. 1 mile to the top of the mountain, 1 mile till I reach that city, 1 last mile. 1 mile, 1 mile, someday I'll reach the other shore, where the Jordan is deep and wide. 1 mile, swing down, chariot, and take me to the sky, to the sweet by and by. By and by, by and by, I'm going to lay down this heavy load. Oh, by and by, by and by, I'm going to lay down this heavy load, this heavy load. 1 mile on the way to freedom, 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 mile on the way to freedom, 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 mile, yea, just 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 mile, yea, just 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 last mile, just 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 last mile, just 1 mile to the other shore. Oh, 1 mile. I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull my hair and they steal my comb, but that's alright till I get home. Tell my mom when I get home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull my hair
Good evening, everyone. Hi, good evening. Before I get started, let's give a round of applause to the East Valley Chamber Choir. Wow, it's just a thrill to see all the scholars out there. My name is Brenda Bray. I am a board member of the Spokane Scholars Foundation, and I'm also a faculty member with the Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, and so I'm particularly honored to introduce our special speaker tonight, who is Dr. John Tomkowiak. Dr. John Tomkowiak received his bachelor's from the University of Illinois and completed his MD and residency training at Southern Illinois University School of Medicine. He is a professor of psychiatry and board certified in general psychiatry. He received a Master of Organizational Leadership from Gonzaga University. Dr. Tomkowiak started his academic career at Southern Illinois University School of Medicine, where he was the director of the second year of the curriculum, as well as the director of the geriatric education program. From there, Dr. Tomkowiak served in a variety of academic positions throughout the country at Florida State University, Chicago Medical School at Rosalind Franklin University, New York Medical College, and Touro College and University System. In those positions, Dr. Tomkowiak provided leadership in the areas of medical education, simulation, interprofessional education, and strategic planning. In 2015, he was named the founding dean of Washington State University, Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine, where he is currently leading the college through accreditation and now getting ready to admit the third class of medical students. Dr. Tomkowiak has expertise in the areas of medical education, accreditation, and transformational leadership. He has won numerous awards, including the Nancy C.A. Roski MD Award for Excellence in Medical Student Education, the U.S. Department of Justice Award for Public Service, and the Illinois FBI National Academy Associates Citizen of the Year Award. He is a member of Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Society. He is married to his wife, Sherry, and has 4 wonderful children. And we're just so happy to be able to welcome Dr. John Tomkowiak. Please join me in welcoming him.
Good evening, scholars. Okay, if we're going to get through this next 25 minutes, we're going to need to do a whole lot better than that. Good evening, scholars. All right, that was getting there. We'll have a few times to practice down the road. Today is your lucky day. Everybody does know today is a special day. Does anybody know what day today is? Oh, yeah, I guess it is tax day. No, that wasn't what I was thinking. Today is allowance day for the dean. You're wanting to know how much allowance the dean gets? I can tell you it's right here. It's $31. I want to hand out a little bit of this money to some of you tonight, but you're going to have to work for it, which means you're going to have to answer some questions. Some will be easy, some will be hard. But what I want to do first is I want to know if there's somebody courageous in the audience, maybe a scholar who is willing to fail. Anybody? I see a hand over here. We're going to go over here. How about a round of applause? And your name is?
Lauren Chaplin.
Lauren. Okay, well, thank you for volunteering. And just for volunteering and being courageous, you get $5. There you go. So I'm going to set Lauren up to fail here. And I hope everyone and all the scholars in the room appreciate the importance of failing. And we should all hope that we have multiple failures in our life. I'm going to ask you a question, Lauren. I want to give you an opportunity to answer. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever you answer, it's going to be wrong. Because I'm going to really ask you to read my mind because I have a specific answer that I'm looking for. And I just don't think you're going to get it, okay? So here's the question. How would you describe yourself?
I have no idea.
Wrong answer. Very good. So $5 for the wrong answer. Very good. $10. Let's give another round of applause. So here is the proposition for all of us tonight. In my 25 minutes, now 22 minutes, I would like to accomplish this goal with all of you. When you are asked the question, who are you? What do you do? Tell me about yourself. Multiple variations of that question. I'm going to give you a formula for success. And like most things in life, the things that have made me successful come from my mom. My mom was a very wise woman, and she was the one who gave me this tip. And as a psychiatrist, I've discovered that for the most part, her tips have always been on point. I'm not sure the tips about chores and washing the dishes, I'm not sure about those, but everything else. Here's the tip. People like interesting people. This is a part of human nature. We like to be around other people who interest us, who we can connect with. Human beings are social animals. We want to connect with each other. So how do we learn and how can we make it easier for people to connect with us? I'm going to give you the recipe. You, sir, what's your name?
Spencer.
Spencer, ask me the question, what do I do?
What do you do?
Well, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a husband, I'm a best friend, I'm a pianist, I'm a hockey player, I'm a scholar, I'm a scientist, I'm a physician, I'm a founding dean. I hope there is something in that list that one of you could connect with. I hope so, because then we could have a conversation. I could go on. I'm a chess player. I'm a book reader. Any of those connect with you?
Yeah.
Which one?
Chess player.
Chess player. Do you play chess?
Yeah.
What's your favorite opening?
I don't know moves. Start with the pawn on the far right.
So here's $1, and then here's $1 for being honest. Nicely done. So when you leave here tonight, this is not just advice for our high school scholars. I think this is advice for all of us, is think about how do you answer that question, what do you do? Tell me about yourself. Who are you? Think about the things that are important to you and that you want to share with other people and connect with. Because that, I will argue, is going to be really important for your success, no matter where you are in life. So let's talk for a little bit about community and scholars. Who wants to offer me an idea of a definition of a scholar? Anybody? Yeah, over there. What are you thinking?
Someone who is academically successful and puts a lot of effort both in school life for their grades and for future success.
Heck yeah. Somebody who is academically successful and put forth a lot of effort towards their academic success. Amazing. Great answer. Anybody else want to proffer a different answer or another definition of scholar? Anybody? Oh, I see someone over here. While I'm heading over here, I want to talk about the importance of failure. We all know that it took a while for Einstein to figure out the electric light bulb, right? Let's think about that. All right, who had their hand up? Your name is?
Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, what are you thinking? Definition of a scholar.
Someone who seeks knowledge.
Someone who seeks knowledge. I love that definition. And if we just change that a little bit, okay, who maybe has an aptitude for study. Let's just, is that similar enough? Will you? No? You don't want to give that one to me?
Yeah, I guess.
You're not like an English guy, are you?
No, I'm fine arts.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I thought I was up against an English scholar. I was going to be in trouble. That is not my forte. Thank you, though. Good definition. Okay, so who here is a scholar? Raise your hand. Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. Did you guys just hear the definition of scholars? Does everyone in this room not feel they have an aptitude for study? Come on. Who's a scholar here? Okay, that's a little bit better. Talk to me about community for a moment. What's the definition of community? Anybody? Community. Come on, I have lots of dollars left. Let's go. Yes, oh, way over here. So Babe Ruth was one of the best home run hitters in baseball. He also struck out more than anyone else. He was a failure. He was also a pretty good home run hitter. Yes, what's your name?
Spencer.
Spencer. Community.
I'd say it's like a society. It's a group of people that live together to accomplish goals.
Yeah, absolutely. A group of people, a society that live together to accomplish goals. Groups of people around a common interest. Nicely done. Okay. So we have two words now. We have community, a group of people who get together around a common interest, and we have scholars, people who have an aptitude for studying. So you put that together, and you have a pretty cool recipe for amazing things to happen. So I want to talk about a few of those amazing things. So first of all, we got to do some practicing. I hope you guys are familiar with this clip.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Everyone recognize this movie? Does anybody know the name of this movie? Yes? 300, of course it is. Does anybody know the story about what happens nicely before this clip that I just showed? Yes. Right before the clip. Yeah. His army or the opposing army? Yeah. So the leader of the Spartan army asked the opposing army, who makes up your army? And they all have different answers. One's an artisan. One's a potter. And then he asks his team, who are they? What is your profession? And they respond with a warrior's cry, right? Because they're all warriors. They're trained to be warriors. Just as all of you are trained to be scholars. Do you buy that or not? Yes? Who said yes, sir? Raise your hand. That has to be rewarded. I don't get called sir very often, so here you go. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I'm not showing this just for fun. You guys are going to have to help me out here. So here's the deal. We're going to have to practice this, the chant, okay? You guys are all going to help me with this. So we're going to do it just like they did in the movie to begin with. I'm going to say, what is your profession? And you're going to respond with, roo, roo, roo. Ready? Okay, Spokane, what is your profession? You guys are super good. Okay, so here's the deal. I don't think you need more practice. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you a little bit different question, and I expect that response. Okay, is everyone clear? Do I see heads nodding? Fantastic. All right, let's move on. All right, I have a few more dollars. I just want to talk about some groups. I have 4 word clouds. They're a little bit far away. I hope you can see them. I need someone to tell me all of these word clouds have a theme, a different theme, obviously. Can anyone guess what this first word cloud is about? You? Yes, sir. Agriculture. Be a little bit more specific. What does that look like? Ooh, gosh darn it. I went the wrong way there. Washington agriculture. Very good. You get $1. Very nice.
What is your profession?
Nicely done. Okay, so we have Washington agriculture. Very good. This next one's pretty easy. Anyone got it? Come on, raise your hand. Oh, way over there. I see the hand up. What do you think? Be a little bit more specific. Yes, that's exactly the right answer. It's all words about physics. Very nicely done. What's your name, sir? Dylan. Nicely done, Dylan. Okay, this next one is super hard. This is a hard one. Next one. Anybody know? I'm looking for a raised hand. We think we know. You are so close. Most common words in the English language is the answer. Can you look a little closer at some of the, there's some specific words in there that are going to guide you to be a little more specific. No, but you're on the right track. It's not the Bible. Shakespeare, that's exactly right. The most common words in Shakespeare's works. Nicely done. Your name? Carly. Nicely done, Carly. Way to go. We have one last one. Anybody know this? Okay, wait. I see. You have to raise your hand here. Okay, I saw an instant raising of hands. Star Wars, and what specifically about Star Wars? What are these things represent? Yes, all of the destinations in the Star Wars franchise are listed here. I'm super happy to know some of you are familiar with Star Wars. If you come to the Elston S. Floyd College of Medicine, that's one of the things you learn very quickly is things about Star Wars. Why? Well, because you're a part of a community that loves Star Wars. Have you guys ever heard of Rosalind Franklin? Yeah, some of you have. What's Rosalind Franklin known for? Anybody? Yeah, you. Yeah, she's famous for a really important X-ray. What's that X-ray about? Take a look.
Taking pictures of chromosomes?
Yeah, of DNA. Yeah. Oh, did you have your hand up? No, this gentleman in the back. You had your hand up. So tell me, yeah, chromosomes. That's exactly right. Okay, I don't have any dollars left, and I am down to my last 10. If you can tell me a little bit more about how Rosalind took that picture, you can have the whole 10, and you can phone a friend.
Okay, so I think she used like X-ray spectroscopy.
Close enough. X-ray crystallography, you get the $10. Nicely done. Rosalind really helped elucidate and discover DNA. Watson and Crick get credit for it. But without this picture, most people agree that we were years from figuring out the structure of DNA. The reason I have this is Rosalind didn't accomplish this work alone. She had a community of scholars that helped her, but it's a very different community than what we think of today. We have telephones and texting and Instagram and Twitter to connect with people. But in 1954, when Rosalind was making this discovery, they didn't have those things. They had something called letters. Yeah. Some of you might be familiar with this concept, maybe some of you not. But she would communicate with researchers across the world. She would write letters, and they would write her back. And those communications would take months sometimes. I mean, not instantaneously. We're talking months. So these are just a couple examples, and they're not important for you to read. It's just she had this amazing community of scholars And she probably wouldn't have made the discovery in the time frame that she did, which was before she died. The very tool that she was using, the X-ray crystallography machine, is the machine that eventually killed her. She died of ovarian cancer from exposure to X-rays. And if she hadn't had her community of scholars, she would not have made this discovery before she died. Okay. I am flush out of money. My allowance is totally gone. So you are answering questions for pride and prestige right now, okay? Does anybody have any idea what this is a drawing of? Yeah, you think you do. What is it? I can give you the dollar back because this is going to be round 2 for you. What is that, Spencer?
It's one of Leonardo da Vinci's inventions or one of his drawings.
How do you know that? How do you know that's an invention of Leonardo da Vinci?
Well, I recognize it. I've seen it actually. It's not the invention of the paper, but yeah.
That's exactly it. I wish I had another dollar to give you. This is a parachute. And if you didn't know who invented it, like you did, I was going to take you to this next picture because you've all seen this. What is this? This is the Mona Lisa, and we all know Da Vinci painted that. And there's this book that was recently written about Da Vinci. And I thought of it when I was asked to do this talk today because Da Vinci, like Rosalind Franklin, also had a community of scholars that he worked with. And I didn't know this before I read the book, but one of his mentors was Andrea del Verrocchio. And Da Vinci learned to paint in a community of painters. And they would often paint the same picture, exchanging strokes and combining their talents together to create amazing art. And this process is what, in part, led to Da Vinci's brilliance. Learning from and with a community of scholars, of painters. And it was his mentor that put this community together that Leonardo was a part of. They literally drew paintings one stroke at a time, each one adding a different stroke. How amazing is that? So if you read that book, the book on Da Vinci, you'll come up with some lessons. And there are just a few of these that I've highlighted here that I'd like to talk about for just a moment. Da Vinci was eternally curious. And if there is one thing that I have seen in scholars, and that I'm sure that the scholars here have tonight, is this insatiable desire of curiosity. And Da Vinci had it bad. He once identified not 1, not 5, but 67 different terms. Thank you for moving your feet because you knew I was heading this way. You're very observant. I like that. Thank you. 67 different ways to describe flowing water. I can think about 2 off the top of my head. He thought of 67 different ways. Why? Because he was curious. What the heck? He would take notes and lists of all sorts of amazing things. But when he was curious about something, he had to go and figure it out. It was amazing. I hope we could all be curious like that. As I already explained, he learned how to paint through collaboration. And this last one, I just want to... Sometimes I think mystery is gone from our lives. I mean, with the Internet of Things, with our access to Google, and, Google knows everything, what is a mystery anymore? My wife and I don't know if any of you went to the recent magic show that was in Spokane, right here at the Performing Arts Center. I really enjoyed that. And I was talking with my wife afterwards. I'm like, I think the reason I enjoyed it is because I still didn't understand how they did many of the things. It was exciting not to know. Well, let me tell you, despite the Internet of Things, there's still lots human beings don't know. Even in the field of medicine, we have only discovered about 1/10 of what we could possibly understand about the human body and the behaviors we engage in. So there's so much room to explore the unknown, no matter what your interest is, whether it be English, the arts, music, science, engineering. I hope you're curious about it, and I hope you're willing to meet mystery head on. I'm coming down the home stretch. Does anybody know who invented the first car? Anybody? You're doing this for pride, prestige? Anybody? Oh, we think we know down here. And there are actually 2 right answers to this question, so I'll give you credit for either one. Yes? Henry Ford, so that is one of the correct answers. In this country, Henry Ford was the maker and inventor of the first automobile. So excellent job, and your name is? Alyssa. Alyssa, fantastic, well done. And I'm gonna show a picture of Henry Ford's first car coming up next. And if someone knows the name of this car, huge bonus points and huge prestige. Here we go. Anybody know what that's called? Okay, so this is the part of the presentation where I don't give you the answer, and we'll see if your curiosity gets the best of you, and you go look this up when you're done. It is called the quadricycle, but there's another part of the name too. Do you know what the rest of it's? The Ford quadricycle? No, you got to look the rest of it up. Okay, I'm not going to give it to you. Yes? I'm sorry, say that again? It's not the, no, it's not the Model A. It is the quadricycle. Yeah, in the back? No, it's not the horseless carriage. You guys, you see, you guys can't stand the fact that I'm not giving you the answer. That's good. This is exactly what I want. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video. And then we're going to wrap up. I've just got about a minute worth of comments after this video plays. This is about 4 minutes. Here we go.
I'm Erin Kaya
My name is Zachary Taylor, and I'm a first-year medical student.
at Wazoo's Elson S. Floyd College of Medicine.
And I'm also a 2014 Spokane Scholars alum in the social studies category.
I'm also a 2014 Spokane Scholars alum and the first place recipient of the World Languages Award.
During my time as an undergraduate at WCU, I was a member of the WCU Honors College. And one thing I absolutely loved about the WCU Honors College was the fact that there was small class sizes, and everyone there was from a different background culturally and had different academic interests. And I think the combination of those created a really unique microenvironment.
After graduating Berkeley and moving back to Spokane, I was really looking for a new community of like-minded people. So I joined the Spokane Young Professionals Group, a group of young professionals in the community, all in different areas. So architects, lawyers, new business owners. And while my main passion is medicine, I really enjoy getting to learn how others are improving themselves, developing their careers, and elevating the Spokane community.
One thing you can really glean from the small class sizes and varied academic interests was that everyone was there for the same reason, and that was that everyone had intellectual curiosity. As a medical student currently, that's also portrayed within our medical school class. And I'm constantly surrounded by highly intelligent individuals who are constantly searching for the next best thing and are in pursuit of knowledge every single day. And for me, that really pushes me to strive and do better every day.
So what an honor it is to be recognized by your teachers, your school, your friends, and your community. It's so exciting. And the best part is it's not a once-in-a-lifetime achievement that you can take and put on your shelf of achievements to gather dust. This is an opportunity for you to fill up your entire wall with shelves of your passions and interests.
I think it's super important to become a part of a community of scholars for several reasons, actually. One being the reason I brought up before about surrounding yourself with intellectually curious people. It'll kind of bring out other aspects and points of view that you had not previously thought about. But if you're also surrounding yourself by people who have similar academic interests as you, it'll further your progression in that field as well.
By gaining this recognition, you're also gaining a responsibility, both to yourself and to the community, to continue bettering yourself, a sense of lifelong learning, and giving back to the community.
As far as becoming a part of a community of scholars, you guys have already taken the first step. You've worked hard throughout high school, and you've already been recognized by being, becoming part of the Spokane Scholars program.
So what can you do to continue your lifelong journey of being involved in a community of scholars? First, go to events you like. Go to the Chihuly exhibit at the MAC. Go to the symphony. Find a group of like-minded people to do the things you're passionate about.
Keep innovating, coming up with new ideas for old problems and creating solutions that people didn't even think needed solutions to. Your belonging within a community of scholars will just naturally happen. And if you don't find that is true, you can always create your own community of scholars with your peers who are like-minded just like yourself.
And also find lots of mentors to help you along the way, and learn from each of them. Just as your mentors help you, find younger students who are on their path and help them with things that you've experienced before. All of these are things you can do your entire life in whatever community you find yourself in, because when you better yourself, you better the lives around you.
So Aaron and Zach are with us tonight. When you guys stand up, how about let's give them a round of applause. So for all the scholars in the room, they were you 5 years ago. And they've learned the value of a community of scholars. And I hope tonight I've given you enough grist for the mill to have you be inquisitive and curious about the concept of a community of scholars. And I hopefully have inspired you to, if not join a community, to start your own community of scholars. It's so important, I think, for all of us and all of our success. So this is your big moment, and you better get it right. Spokane, are you scholars? Thank you, everybody.
The most delightful things I get to do is to listen to these presentations, to be inspired. He's not talking just to the young scholars, he's talking to us all. So I want to thank Dr. Tomkowiak for this inspiring, productive, entertaining presentation tonight. I think there's pieces of it that all of us sitting here, all 900 of us, can take home. So to that end, the 27th Spokane Scholars plaque, what is this, a plaque or a big paperweight thanking you for your contribution. Thanks. Thank you, really great. I appreciate it. I sort of work with him. I am a part-time professor there, but you can see why the people around him are made better. And that's what happens with a community of scholars. We feed off each other. We learn from one another. But goodness, we do have to be comfortable with failing in our own mind and in those of others. All right, here comes some more good parts to this. Here's the way it works, folks. Here's how you ended up here. Every year in the late fall, all 29 area high schools are asked to identify their top students in 6 categories: English, fine arts, mathematics, science, social studies, and world languages. We tell the schools, find just your best students and name them as the scholars. A student can be named in only one discipline. These students are all Spokane scholars, and they represent the best high school students in the Spokane area. Scholars, you are not nominees. Scholars, you are not applicants. Scholars, you are scholars, now and forevermore. Each of you will come tonight to this stage to receive a personalized medallion. They're really very cool medallions with your name, the category, and your school etched on them. They're a lifelong memento. You'll also receive a certificate of excellence from the Spokane Scholars Foundation and a letter of congratulations signed personally by Kathy Memorks Rogers, Senator Patty Murray, and the 3 Spokane County Commissioners. From this group of highly talented Spokane scholars, a panel of judges will determine and identify Spokane award recipients. These are the top 4 in each of the 6 categories. The identities of the Spokane Scholar Award recipients is confidential and is not known until tonight. This will be the first that I and everybody else in here, short of the judges, knows who are our Scholar Award recipients. There are at least 3 judges in each discipline, each with personal or professional expertise in the area that they're associated with. These judges determine the Spokane Award recipients. The judges' identities are known only to board members, and judges pledge impartiality. There is no communication between judges of different categories. The Spokane Award recipients in one category are unknown to the judges in the other category. Selection of Spokane Award recipients is based on grades in selected discipline, overall grade point average, special academic recognition, scholastic honors and awards, results of standardized test scores, and letters of recommendation. Although there is a page in the scholar packet labeled autobiography, the information in that section is not, and I repeat, is not used in any manner in selecting the 4 scholar grant recipients in each category. The autobiographical and non-academic information, such as community service, is used only as background material during the presentation tonight. It is not a factor in determination of a Scholar Award recipients. That's probably what separates us off from most organizations, is our ability to continue to focus on academic excellence and nothing else. 4 students are selected in each discipline. Grants are awarded in amounts of $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and $4,000. Our 14 participating colleges and universities match that grant in kind for 1 year for a student matriculating there. Over the past 26 years, the Spokane Scholars Foundation has awarded over $1.5 million to approximately 500 students. Although we do select, this is the key, although we do select Scholar Award recipients, our number 1 priority tonight is to recognize and honor all the scholars. If there is a single take-home tonight, it is this: you are all Spokane scholars. Scholars, got it? Okay. Scholars for all disciplines, here's what you get to do tonight. Not have to, but get to do. For many of you, this will be the first time on a stage in front of so many people, being rewarded for hard work, staying at home, missing events that your friends were out doing, that you stayed home and studied or read or created something. Take advantage of it. When your academic discipline is called, come to the front of the room, ascend those stairs. You do not have to be in any particular order. You will be counted off, and Jan Jenkins will tell you this number stops. One half of the group, or approximately, will go on the yellow line here, and the other half or so there. Relax. Force a smile. Enjoy your well-deserved moment. It really is pretty nice up here. And this video will be replayed online for you all to look at. So take advantage of this opportunity. When a presenter announces your name, step out of the line to the yellow X. The yellow line to the yellow X. And I don't mean to be condescending here, but you'd be surprised how many kids with perfect SATs can't figure that out. Face the audience, and then turn to accept from a board member or a special presenter your medallion and certificates, and a handshake. And that handshake is from the community of Spokane. It may well be one person shaking your hand, but in essence, I want you to really know that it's the community of Spokane shaking your hand and saying, job well done. Once having received that, step back onto the yellow line in place. Audience, please hold your applause until all the scholars in that particular category are announced. Opportunities will be made available to you after the banquet in the back of the room or up here on stage if you wish. When all of the scholars in a particular discipline have been introduced, the Spokane Scholars Award recipients will then be announced by the presenters. Likewise, if your name is called, you will step forward. One of the presenters will come, shake your hand, and give you a check that you can cash tomorrow or next week or next month, whatever you want. After the Scholar Award recipients have been introduced, all scholars on stage will exit stage right. Watch your step. It is my privilege now to introduce board member Liz Hooker, who will begin the process of the presentation of the 2019 Spokane Scholars.
Thank you, Eric. At this time, I would like to invite all of these scholars in the English category to please come forward. Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in English and representing category underwriter STCU, our board members of the STCU board, Dolores Humiston, chair of the board, and Catherine Brazel, member. Assisting with the presentation of the medallions is Spokane Scholars board member Kevin Weberg. Audience, please hold your applause until all of the scholars have been announced.
All right, are we ready? Sophia Bain, North Central High School. Amy Barber, Riverside. Emily Bush, Mount Spokane High School. Camden Butekoffer, Cheney High School. Brooke Carruthers, Lewis and Clark. Carly Crooks, Ferris. Grace Vankera, The Oaks High School. Aaliyah Davis, Rogers. Melanie Fagan, Freeman. Jeff Friedman, Lakeside. Grace Generous, St. George's. Sky Gordon, Meade.
Jacob Hammonds, Shadle Park High School. Spencer Hawkins, University High School. Chloe Haynes, Medical Lake High School. Noah Hilderbrand, Northwest Christian. Lucas Keller, Deer Park High School. Jacob Kestner, West Valley High School. Alicia Lungu, East Valley High School. Jessica Schuler, Gonzaga Prep. Phoebe Trigstead, Valley Christian. Paul Tucker, Upper Columbia. Elizabeth Welker, On Track. Jasmine Wen, Central Valley High School. Please join us in congratulating all of these scholars in English.
So now for the awards. The recipient of the $1,000 award for English is, according to a teacher, a remarkable thinker, writer, and reader who has truly been an exemplary student in my AP literature class. This student has a 4.0 GPA, is ranked number 1 out of 203 students, and is their class valedictorian, is an AP scholar with honor, has scored no lower than a 4 on 4 different AP tests, and placed the 99 percentile nationally by scoring a 1540 on the SAT test. An AP history teacher writes, "I feel very lucky to have had this scholar as a student. They are wonderfully sincere and curious about English in a way that reminds me daily why I became an educator." Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $1,000 recipient is an extraordinary scholar. He will attend the University of Notre Dame next fall to study English and biology. He currently attends West Valley High School, and his name is Jacob Kestner.
The recipient of the $2,000 award for English is described by a teacher as possessing a staggering ability to translate complicated ideas into simple language while also considering these ideas in their own life, and one of the finest all-around English scholars our school has ever seen. This student has maintained a 3.96 GPA while taking a rigorous course load, scored a 1440 on the SAT test, and has competed as one of the most decorated debaters in Washington state history, having appeared in consecutive state championship rounds. This student's English teacher writes that they are a fantastic student, a wonderful writer, and a 1 in a million Spokane Scholars English candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $2,000 recipient is an especially gifted scholar. She attends St. George's School, and her name is Grace Generous.
Regarding the recipient of the $3,000 award for English, a teacher states that this student continues to amaze me with the depth, understanding, and usage of the language in every assignment that is submitted. This student has a weighted GPA of a 4.39, scored a 1520 on the SAT test, and earned a 5 on the AP Language and Composition exam, while also serving as a founding member and president of the high school's Creative Writing Club. An AP English teacher states that this student's level of maturity in reading, analysis, and composition is unmatched by any high school student I have taught over the last 16 years. And that this student has the innate ability to read, analyze, and articulate very clever ideas with classmates while inspiring curiosity and epiphanies in other students. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $3,000 recipient in English is an extraordinary young academic. She attends Ferris High School, and her name is Carly Crooks.
The recipient of the $4,000 award for English is described by a teacher as an outstanding young scholar of uncompromising character and ability, and an inspired writer whose ability to analyze both fiction and nonfiction is unsurpassed. This student maintains a perfect 4.0 GPA, has scored no lower than a 4 on 6 different AP tests, is an AP Scholar with distinction, a National Commended Scholar, and scored a 1580 on the SAT test, placing the scholar in the 99th percentile nationally. This student's AP English states that the student has exceptional talents in reading, writing, and speaking, and that this student's essays, exams, discussion comments, analysis, curiosity, and ability to understand complex ideas have marked this scholar as a standout among standouts in all AP English classes. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $4,000 recipient in English is an extraordinary young academic. She will attend Duke University next fall and currently attends Central Valley High School. Her name is Jasmine Wen.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in English. Thank you, scholars. Will the 2019 Scholars in Fine Arts please come forward? Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Fine Arts are Gay and Eric Shoemaker, representing the Jonathan Holloway Foundation. Assisting with the presentation of the medallions is board member Joanne Tripp.
All right. Grace Ahola, Upper Columbia. Abigail Allen, Central Valley. Brendan Archer, Shadle Park. Tracy Bach, Meade. Andrew Bergman, Riverside. Madeline Burgess, The Oaks. Isabella Cooley, St. George's. Dakota Kuhn, the Community School. William Dexter, East Valley. Kyra Fowler, Ferris. Caitlin Gilchrist, St. Michael's. Megan Gertz, Medical Lake. Marina Hansen, Valley Christian.
Catherine Hawkinson, North Central. Tabitha Horton, Newport. Mariah Johnson, Rogers. Allison Clockey, West Valley. Sean Lewis, Deer Park. Carter Little, Cheney. Brady Magruder, University. Anthony Managura, Lewis and Clark. Caleb Marl, Mount Spokane. Myra Marquis, On Track. Dylan Passy, Freeman. And Monica Wagner, Gonzaga Prep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Fine Arts. And now the announcement of your Spokane Scholar Award recipients.
Our $1,000 award recipient is a gifted musician with a 3.9 GPA and 29 on the ACT. This scholar has won numerous medals at Music Fest Northwest and performed in many theater and choral groups starting at the age of 3. According to this student's voice teacher, this award recipient's repertoire includes everything from Broadway to opera and has a natural vocal ease and an innate sense of musicality. This student has shown strong leadership skills, offers valuable input, and is willing to help fellow students in music or core subjects. Please congratulate Kyra Fowler from Ferris High School.
Our $2,000 award recipient scored a 31 on the ACT and has a 3.88 GPA. This visual artist has exhibited works in galleries and art shows in the area, winning awards and scholarships. One teacher notes, quote, "Rarely do I see a student who pursues work with such dedication to concept and craft," end quote. Another teacher wrote that this nominee wanted to do a project that gave voice to the people of the Holocaust and asked for access to the teacher's library on the subject, demonstrating this artist's commitment to capture the human spirit and struggle. This student uses a wide range of styles and incorporates learning from other classes in the art. This student is a gifted artist, curious student, and an engaged leader. Please congratulate Abby Allen from Central Valley High School. Oh, sorry, we're supposed to go to the X. Do we have to go to the X?
You should.
Okay, let's go to the X.
Our $3,000 award recipient is a 4.0 student and a 32 on the ACT and 4s and 5s on AP exams. This drama student has done everything from running the light board for shows to stage manager to lead actor in many plays. One AP award history class resulted in this talented scholar writing and performing a piece on Elizabeth Gurley Flynn, a young industrial workers of the world member fighting for the rights of the disenfranchised worker. Not only did this student write the script, but created the stage, set, designed costumes, and performed 3 roles. This work resulted in winning first place in the local competition, second in the state, and an invitation to compete in the National History Day competition in Washington, D.C. This student works continually to improve acting skills both at local and national levels. This student plans to major in history and perhaps practice law or become a history professor, but she will continue supporting art in her free time. Please congratulate Katie Hawkinson from North Central High School.
Our $4,000 award recipient has a 4.0 GPA and a 1530 on the SAT. This musician plays several instruments and has received superior ratings each year from the Spokane Falls Music Educators Association, in most of them over the past 4 years. This student plays in most of the school's ensembles and bands and is currently enrolled in an AP Music Theory course. According to one teacher, this scholar's unwavering commitment to excellence and work ethic is evident in the inspiring performances, artistic and musical achievements, and academic strengths. This student leaves nothing to chance, is meticulous, and will push himself to his expressive limit at every given opportunity. Not content with excelling musically and academically, this student also is a tennis player, winning top honors in both local and state competitions, and a chess player, helping the 2018 team win the GSL crown. A teacher noted that this scholar is also an impactful leader in a wide range of settings. Please help me congratulate Brendan Archer from Shadle Park High School.
Congratulations to all the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Fine Arts. Will the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Mathematics please come forward?
All right. My name's Billy Etter, and I'm a member of the board of the Spokane Scholars Foundation. Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Mathematics and representing Hanson Industries are Bob Boyle, president of Hanson Industries, and Kristana Boyle. Assisting with the presentation of the medallions is board member Dr. John Keeve.
Good evening. Faraz Abu Nahujad, Medical Lake. Benjamin Asan, Shadle Park. Aaron Borjas, River Point. Jacob Brown, University. Lauren Champlin, Meade. Grant Conrad, West Valley. Nicholas Cruz, Lewis and Clark. Samantha Donahue, East Valley. Jacob Erdman, Ferris. Samuel Fix, Cheney. Zachary Hine, Newport. Jenna Yankee, North Central. Jacob Kim, The Oaks.
Eric Matheson, Central Valley. Libby Michael, Deer Park. Cameron Norton, Riverside. Monica Phipps, Gonzaga Prep. Kendra Pope, Valley Christian. Lucas Shockley, Rogers. Andrew Zimmerman, Freeman. Longfei Sui, Upper Columbia. Joy Wong, St. George's. Ethan Whitmer, Lakeside. Christopher Wright, Mount Spokane. And Jennifer Zhang, Northwest Christian. Or Jane, I'm sorry. I knew I was going to get one wrong.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Mathematics. Now the announcement of the names of the Spokane Scholar Award recipients in mathematics.
In mathematics for $1,000. Finishing all available math courses at their school, our $1,000 award recipient attends Gonzaga University, where this student has completed calculus with analytic geometry. A world traveler, this scholar brings an international flair to her studies with music, tennis, and scholarship. This scholar will be attending Purdue University this fall and will major in aerospace engineering. Both teachers who wrote letters of recommendation for her commented on the scholar's innate curiosity and their drive to go beyond what is expected of even the brightest students. We offer our congratulations and best wishes for a bright future to Monica Phipps from Gonzaga Prep. In mathematics for 2000, earning a 5 on the AP Calculus test, as well as the AP Statistics test, complemented this 2000 award recipient's other 4 AP classes, which earned the scholar the title of AP Scholar with Distinction. Scoring a 36 in math on the ACT test, as well as a 790 on the math portion of the SAT, this student would appear to have real math skills, but that would not represent the full picture of this amazing student. An aspiring guitarist and jazz musician, this scholar also joined with the school's team to earn first place in the state 1A Knowledge Bowl competition. A math teacher states, this student is particularly conscientious of academics, meticulous in his work, and devoted to expanding his knowledge, undoubtedly leading to his perfect 4.0 GPA. The scholar dreams of becoming a radiologist and is well down the path to that goal. We congratulate and honor our second place finisher for Medical Lake, Faraz Abunahui Jad. Mathematics for 3000. Completing AP Calculus BC and AP Statistics, our $3,000 award recipient hopes to add to the impressive score of 5 on those courses, as well as AP Physics, Chemistry, and US History, with another 5 in AP Computer Science. An AP Scholar with Distinction, this nominee earned nearly perfect scores on the math portions of the SAT and the ACT, as well as an impressive 4.0 GPA. As a leader of the Cyber Patriots team at school, this scholar is called on to approach problems, as one math teacher states, with the maturity as a mathematical thinker, patient thoroughness, and unparalleled ability to find a solution as opposed to an answer to those problems. An aspiring musician and animal lover, teachers claim he will be an asset to any university lucky enough to enroll him. Please join us in offering our sincere congratulations to Jacob Erdman from Ferris High School. Finally, an AP Scholar with Distinction, our $4,000 award recipient, has earned commendable scores on 6 AP tests, including earning 5s on AP Calculus BC and AP Computer Science Principles. An accomplished computer and programming expert, this student has many computer repair and technology certifications, as well as several Microsoft Technology Associate certifications. The scholar also earned a perfect 800 on the math portion of the SAT, as well as a perfect 800 on the SAT 2. An Eagle Scout, our honoree is active in the community, volunteering at retirement communities with his participation in music, Blessings Under the Bridge, and Cancer Care Northwest. The computer science teacher relates how, for the AP Create project, using only his own code, this scholar developed an electronic keyboard simulator to help introduce students to music. The program included several complex algorithms and was fully functional. Planning to attend a university where he can major in computer science while earning a secondary major in engineering or psychology, we're delighted to have the opportunity to introduce you to Eric Matheson from Central Valley High School.
Once again, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Mathematics. Will the Spokane Scholars in Science please come forward?
Should borrow your crutches.
Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Sciences are Norma Jean and Dennis Hansen of the Hansen Family Foundation. Assisting with the presentation of the medallions is Heather Roy Ting, owner of Pyrotech.
Jacob Barnhart, West Valley. Alexia Campos, Shadle Park. Jesse, oops, a little fast. Jesse Dillon, Newport. Deanna Dreyer, oh, gotta slow down. Deanna Dreyer, Lewis and Clark. Gary Floria, East Valley. Maria Guglielmo, The Oaks. Ethan Hagman, Central Valley. Rachel Harwood, North Central. Brent Hodgson, Deer Park. Ethan Hunter, St. George's. Rhea Jansen, Freeman. Jamie Knutson, Cheney.
Before we start, I think Eric left an important piece out tonight, is that there are no scholar parents who paid to place their kids here tonight. Grant Lukey, Brady Matthews, Samuel Millsap.
Rogers.
Oh. Okay, left a few things out. That was Ferris, Northwest Christian, and Rogers. Mount Spokane was Jeremy Nix. Jacob Nordenhasen, Gonzaga Prep. Sarah Ransom, Medical Lake. Rebecca Reilly, Valley Christian. Andrew Smith, Lakeside. Rebecca Stroke, Mead. Blake Tellingson, University. Inley Wong, Upper Columbia. Michael Zanori, Riverside.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Science. Now for the announcement of the names of the Spokane Scholar Financial Award recipients in science.
Science for 1,000. Our 1,000 award recipient in science is an AP Scholar with distinction with scores of 5 in AP Biology and Chemistry, a U.S. Presidential Scholars Program nominee, a Dean's List Championship semifinalist awarded for excellence in engineering through leadership, STEM outreach, and inspiration of the community, teamwork, and mentorship. As a member of the school's first robotics competition team, this scholar is the captain of the engineering team and has designed robot mechanisms in CAD and helped lead the team to Tour World Championship qualifications. Their AP Chemistry Biology teacher describes this scholar as one of his top 2 or 3 science students in over 26 years of teaching and his top intuitive learner. Their science and engineering teacher states, "How do I make this more clear? This is the most intellectual, committed, natural leader that I have taught in my 21 years of teaching." Our 100 award scholarship is Jacob Barnhart from West Valley. Our 2000 award goes to an AP Scholar with distinction, a National Merit semifinalist with a perfect 800 on the math portion of the SAT, a perfect 36 on the ACT, and scores of 5 on his AP Science test. Their counselor writes that it would be an understatement that this scholar is superior intellect, displaying a level of fluid intelligence which by all means distinguishes himself from all students currently, and one of the most gifted to have ever walked the halls of our school. The AP Computer Science teacher and assistant principal states, "I have the honor of knowing every student at our school, and I know all of the students in recent years that have been Spokane Scholars. All of those students were exceptionally qualified for the honor in their own rights, but this student ranks first among them in intellectual potential." Our 2000 award recipient was an early admit to Stanford University. He is Jacob Nordhagen from Gonzaga Prep. Our 3000 award goes to a student who scored a 99th percentile on the SAT, including a perfect 800 in math. In addition, this scholar scored a perfect 800 in the SAT subject test in physics, chemistry, and level 2 mathematics. This school was a core member of their school's robotics team, heavily involved in strategy, design, 3D modeling, fabrication, and project management. A first Tech Challenge Dean's List Award finalist, this scholar was one of 100 students recognized among applicants from 12,000 teams. Their college counselor writes, "His selection as our science representative shows just how bright he is when it comes to solving problems and applying his understanding of multiple fields of scientific study and theoretical concepts to real-world situations. He epitomizes a student deeply engaged in the process of scientific exploration and discovery. A chemistry teacher states that this scholar combines a lightning-quick mind, deep curiosity, and the ability to improvise solutions to complex problems across disciplines. But what makes this student truly outstanding is the ability to apply scientific prowess outside the classroom by helping other students develop as scientists. The physics teacher said this scholar can take a difficult problem and find a valid conclusion despite yet not having learned the mathematics to formally solve it. This scholar is better at applying mathematics to science problems than any student I have taught in 20 years. Our $3,000 award goes to Ethan Hunter from St. George's School. Oopsie. Thought I lost it. Our $4,000 award goes to their school's 2019 valedictorian with a weighted GPA of 4.37. The student is an AP Scholar with honor and is on track to be a national AP Scholar. This student scored at the 100% level in the ACT Science section with perfect scores in data interpretation and science investigation. This scholar is AP Biology, Biomedical Sciences instructor writes, I have been the scholar's teacher for 3 different science courses over the last 2 years. During this time, this student has impressed me both in general academic prowess and problem-solving abilities, consistently demonstrating the skills required to succeed in every level of the sciences pursuing a planned future in medicine. In addition to taking AP courses in biology, chemistry, and calculus-based physics, the student has also been a part of our school's biomedical sciences program since the freshman year. From physics investigations into projectile motion to molecular biology experiments involving protein purification, this scholar's willingness to challenge herself with rigorous courses helped her develop a thorough understanding of how scientific investigations are conducted from the point of experimental design to the statistical analysis of data. This scholar plans to major in biochemistry, followed by med school to become a pediatrician. This nominee has been a volunteer at Deaconess Medical Center and has been accepted with scholarships to both the University of Minnesota College of Biological Sciences and the University of Utah. She has also been accepted to the University of Michigan. Big decision coming. Our $4,000 award goes to Yana Dreyer of Lewis and Clark.
Once again, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Science. Will the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Social Studies please come forward?
Good evening. My name is TJ Brill. I'm the treasurer of the Spokane Scholars Foundation. Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Social Studies on behalf of Jim Coles and in memory of his wife Wanda Coles are Mayor David Condon and Beck Taylor, president of Whitworth University. Assisting in the presentation of the medallions is Kevin Person, CEO of Wagstaff.
Well, it's good to be with all of you. The 8th time I've done this on behalf of Jim and Wanda, and my last time as the mayor of the great city of Spokane. But let's start. Racine Balo, Newport. Meg Bernardo, Central Valley. Rachel Boos, Lewis and Clark. Colin Busher, Deer Park. Colin Cheney, Upper Columbia. Bethany Cummings, Gonzaga Prep. Evan Gilbert, Freeman. Grayson Gold, The Oaks. Nicholas Heimbigner, North Central. Hayden Johnson, East Valley. Annabelle Carlos, Liberty. Ivis Kopetz, Valley Christian. Caden Lee, Medical Lake. Joaquin Leja, Shadle Park.
Philip Makarov, Rogers. Kyle Mangum, West Valley. Caitlin Massey, Riverside. Aaron Miller, University. Riley Arata, Lakeside. Vlada Pavlenko, On Track. Jameson Powell, Cheney. Jordan Rabe, Northwest Christian. Dylan Schuler, Meade. Chloe Sestero, Ferris. Mariah Vila, St. Michael's. Chloe White, Mount Spokane. Curie Woodard, St. George's.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Social Studies. Back, and now for the announcement of the financial recipients in social studies.
The recipient of the $1,000 award for social studies is described by a teacher as a model student and leader among peers. This student has a 3.938 GPA, is an AP Scholar with distinction, and has taken 10 advanced placement courses while scoring a 1400 on the SAT. An AP History teacher writes that this student has, quote, conducted herself as a model student during her time in high school and is a well-rounded individual who has represented both herself and her community with a high degree of integrity, energy, and respect, end quote. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $1,000 recipient in social studies is an extraordinary scholar. She attends Lewis and Clark High School, and her name is Rachel Boos.
The recipient of the $2,000 award for social studies is described by an AP social studies teacher as, quote, one of the deepest thinkers I've ever met in my life and the best and brightest student I have ever worked with. This student has maintained a 4.0 GPA, is an AP Scholar with distinction, a National Merit Scholar finalist, has taken 5 AP tests and scored a 1510 on the SAT. This student's AP History teacher states that the student is, quote, as assiduous as he is brilliant and is one of the most kind, personable, and reliable scholars I've ever met. This teacher says, having taught for nearly a decade at both the high school and university levels, I can honestly say that you will not come across many students with this scholar's potential. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $2,000 recipient is an especially gifted scholar. He attends Meade High School and is named Dylan Schuler.
Regarding the recipient of the $3,000 award for social studies, a teacher states that this scholar is, quote, a self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly skilled student with a unique and acute awareness of the world around her, end quote. This student has a 3.905 GPA while taking a combined total of 10 advanced placement and pre-baccalaureate history classes and earning a score of 5 on different AP tests. In addition to being an AP Scholar with distinction, this student scored a remarkable 1510 on the SAT exam and won the London School of Economics Student Union Economics Society Essay Competition in 2018. An AP History teacher writes that this scholar's achievements show, quote, an undeniable ability to succeed and grow within the field of social studies, end quote. And that this student possesses, quote, critical thinking, writing, and self-advocating and learning skills that are indicative of a student that is not only passionate and curious about social sciences, but a student that is exceptional when compared with her peers, end quote. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $3,000 recipient in social studies is an extraordinary young academic. She attends Central Valley High School, and her name is Meg Bernardo.
Well, normally I attend with my wife to this, and we always keep track of each other's alma mater. We're at 3-2 and only one section left to go, so here goes. The recipient of the $4,000 award for social studies, according to an AP social studies teacher, quote, one of the most capable students I have taught in 28 years, and one of the top 1 to 3 brightest, hardest working, most curious students I've ever encountered. This student maintains a 4.0 GPA, is a National Merit Commended Scholar, an AP Scholar with distinction, has taken 8 different AP courses, and has remarkably scored a 5 on 7 different AP tests. This nominee has scored in the 99th percentile nationally on both the SAT with a score of 1540. This student's AP History teacher states that this student is, quote, a true scholar who believes in the future will be a renowned history professor, writing books that will help us understand the connections between global history, health, and ethical questions raised around science, culture, and global health. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 $4,000 recipient in social studies is an extraordinary young academic. He attends North Central High School, and his name is Nick Bigner.
Congratulations to all of the 2019 Spokane Scholars in Social Studies. Great job, everybody. Will the Spokane Scholars in World Languages please come to the stage? World Languages. Presenting the 2019 Spokane Scholars in World Languages tonight are Deborah Weiser, President of the Spokane County Medical Society, and Colonel Michael Johnson, Commander Mission Support Group of the 92nd Air Refueling Wing at Fairchild Air Force Base. Assisting with the presentation of the medallions is Spokane Scholars Board Member Aaron Kaya, who was also a Spokane Scholar and award recipient in a prior year. Doctor, take it away.
Catherine Arndt, Lakeside. Matthew Alcaraz, Gonzaga Prep. Claire Bennett, St. George's. Dominique Carrillo, East Valley. Briar Demakis, University. Madeline Dickens, the Community School. Andrew Dorgan, West Valley. Delaney Fromm, Ferris. Trent Johnson, Riverside. Kira Johnston, Upper Columbia. And Olivia McCollum, Lewis and Clark.
Grace Netchez, The Oaks. Madison O'Callahan, Cheney. Kenny Fan, Rogers. Alexander Roberson, Shadle Park. Sierra Taylor, Meade. Spencer Taylor, Central Valley. Justice Wells, Freeman. Alyssa Williams, On Track. Jade Wilson, North Central. Jacob Zacharias, Mount Spokane. Hunter Zepp, Medical Lake.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Spokane Scholars in World Languages. And now for the announcement of the names of the Spokane Scholar Financial Award recipients.
The $1,000 award recipient in the World Languages category goes to a very deserving student who has become a multilingual student in both Spanish and French languages. As with most award recipients over the past several years, this scholar has achieved perfect scores in the areas of study in which they are being nominated, but also have a perfect 4.0 GPA overall. Amazingly, this student's formal study of Spanish is slightly shadowed by their relatively informal and somewhat self-directed study of French, in which this student volunteers to help tutor other students formally enrolled in French classes. Outside of the classroom, this student exclusively speaks Spanish or French with the teachers and acts as a role model for other students. Receiving A's in 10 AP classes, this student is a well-rounded scholar deserving of our $1,000 award. Please congratulate Ferris High School Spokane scholar Delaney Fromm.
Our next award recipient is a 4.0 GPA student with a 1410 SAT score who has a strong understanding of the Latin language, which should come in handy in medical school as this student follows in their parents' footsteps of becoming a physician. While this student is fluent in Latin, the scholar anticipates studying Spanish next year in college as they pursue their medical degree. In this scholar's words, in order to know what's hurting or what's wrong with a person, you have to be able to communicate and have a conversation with them. I plan on taking Spanish in college in order to be able to have those needed conversations, ensuring nothing is lost in translation. Please help us welcome the next member of our community devoted to making things better, our 2000 award recipient from Gonzaga Prep, Matthew Alcaraz.
The Spokane scholar being given our $3,000 award is again a 4.0 GPA student who has accomplished a very honorable 1420 SAT score, 3s and 4s on all of their AP tests, including biology, world history, French, English, and U.S. history. This valedictorian is not only fluent in French and AP scholar with honor, but is also a committed volunteer with experience as an advisory board member with Joya, formerly the Spokane Guild School, which helps children aged birth to 3 with developmental disabilities and neurological delays. This scholar also volunteers with Special Olympics, Santa Express, and the oncology department at Deaconess Hospital. This scholar aspires to become an orthodontist and plans to start their college studies at University of Arizona to major in chemistry prior to becoming a doctor of dental surgery through the University of Washington. We wish the best for this Spokane scholar and thank her for already giving back to our community. Please help us congratulate our $3,000 award recipient from Cheney High School, Madison O'Callahan.
Our final award recipient, more than worthy of the $4,000 prize, missed a cumulative 4.0 GPA by a single B+ in AP Biology their freshman year. While you may be initially overwhelmed with disappointment, please let's consider the scholars redeem themselves with their 1540 SAT score, 35 ACT score, a score of 4 on the AP Chemistry test, a score of 5 on each of their AP World History, AP US History, AP Calculus, self-taught by the way, and AP Physics Mechanics test. Whew, let's take a deep breath. Next, as with most of us, I'm sure Spanish was too easy, so this scholar tested out of Spanish 2 and 3 with A's and jumped over to Italian. Again, too easy, this scholar self-taught in Italian, tested out of Italian 1, 2, and 3 with an A, and jumped right into Italian 4 and 5. This National Merit Scholar finalist, Eagle Scout, cross-country letterman, and current Portuguese and French language student plans on majoring in physics and math and becoming a PhD in math specializing in differential geometry and analysis, and aspires somewhere along the way at earning a Fields Medal in the Nobel Prize for Math. Would everyone please give a warm round of applause to our $4,000 award recipient from Central Valley High School, Spencer Taylor.
Please give a warm round of applause to all of our 2019 Spokane Scholars in World Languages.
I hate for this to end. Aren't the facial expressions and other expressions amazing that you watch? I just love watching these students be presented for the first time in their lives up here. I have a few closing comments. I want to thank Dr. Tomkowiak for his presentation. It was energetic and the sponsors, the community leaders, the presenters, the parents, the teachers that are here, all of you lend credibility and support to our efforts, and I'm grateful for that. I want to thank the venerable Professor Geshe Felge for his invocation. It was a highlight for me. There were many highlights when you think back upon it. It was tonight that we had the color guard. It was tonight that we heard the national anthem and the invocation. And then it did build, didn't it? I was right about that. And it culminates in these students here. I want to thank the musicians in the junior ROTC. They're long gone. They're probably studying or in bed, but we're grateful for that. I also want to make special acknowledgement of those scholars here present tonight who are going to enter military academies or will be serving directly into the military. We thank you for that. I also want to thank the convention staff. I suspect that people on our board who interact with this convention center would tell you that they're the nicest people in the world. This meal, the service, the effort they make to make this banquet go is in part, large part due to this convention center staff. So I'd like to thank them. I apologize if I've overlooked anybody or mispronounced a name, but we have failures once in a while, don't we, Dr. Tomkowiak? And that's what you told us. So as to be a community of scholars, we must first be a community of lifelong learners. And in my book, we need to work better at being a community of lifelong listeners. Too often I hear or read the following: I don't like what you say, I am offended, your conversation makes me uncomfortable, so just be quiet. I'm placing on the table of these scholars here tonight a reversal of that, an open mind on subjects that make you uncomfortable, the ability of you to argue intellectually with a position that you might even find offensive. All of us in this room should be emotionally and intellectually equipped to thoughtfully listen to any viewpoint. Scholars, you are the agents of change in reestablishing civil discourse, in reestablishing true free speech. Free speech is a tool of enlightenment, and that should be our goal. We need to practice listening. We need to practice patience with those whose message is not ours or yours. Stick to your core principles, but be flexible in changing your minds. If still blessed with grandparents, seek them out for some quiet time before you leave for college. Don't put it off. then listen to them talk about their lives. They likely will be more honest, and they likely will be more interesting than your parents. As you move along on your journey, listen to others as you would want them to listen to you. So scholars, all 148 of you, would you please stand at your seats for the moment? Please rise, scholars. No applause, please. No applause, remember? But it's coming, and it's going to be louder than any applause you've heard all night because we've been suppressing it. Ladies and gentlemen, these scholars deserve applause commensurate with their accomplishments. Would you join me now and loudly show them a job well done? Good night and safe travels.